welcome back po sa inyong lahat. Welcome back. And hello again. And welcome back to Lira in Law, broadcasting live from London, England, every Thursday. And today's no different, of course, every Thursday between 7:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. And so, ang topic po natin ngayon is qualifying for British citizenship. Part 1. So we're looking at adults, no? Next week, ang pag-uusapan natin mga bata. So children registration nga next week mainly. So part 1, qualifying for British citizenship. Okay, I didn't actually know. I have to think about where to start, no? This is one of those topics nga that can be different depending on yung sitwasyon nyo, no? So the starting point really is, ano ba yun? Ano ba ibig sabihin? So, naturalization. So that is before you can apply, before you can get a British passport, kailangan nyo muna to, yung naturalization. Unless, of course, dito nga kayo pinanganak. So we're looking at really from the point of view of migrants in the United Kingdom. So sabihin natin, dumating kayo dito, matagal na nga kayo, and you want to see if you can apply nga for a British passport. Bago kayo makakakuha ng British passport, ito muna ang proseso. So, for most, ang una nga is naturalization. Ano ba ibig sabihin naturalization? So, naturalization is a legal process by which an adult who's not British becomes a British citizen. No? So that's kind of the rough and ready definition of yung naturalization. Pero kailangan nyo nga yun, as I say, bago kayo makakakuha ng passport. Now, as at year ending September 2023, okay, so isang taong nga lang, 182,000 foreign nationals became British citizens. Dami, no? And that is in this way, that in the way of naturalization, 182,000. So it's obviously a popular process, and it's good to know, no? And also there are things nga, marami kong mga kalayante, hindi nga nila alam na pwede na nga sila magpasok na application for naturalization, then leading to British passport. Especially popular po ito because of the changes to the biometric, no? Two topics ago, pinag-usapan nga natin yung biometric residence permits, no? Mawawala na yun from the 31st of December. So mga tao meron silang indefinite nga dito, I'm advising them, should they simply open an account nga with UKVI and show their indefinite leave to remain that way, o kaya should they go for naturalization? And 90% of the time, sinasabi ko sa kanila, it's probably better to go for the naturalization. Hence, the popularity of the topic. So, ano bang process? So, tingnan nga natin. Ang proseso po, application to the Home Office. Okay? And the application is normally made online. So kung kami magpapasok, usually we do it online using the UKV, the government website. And you can also do it paper-wise, no? Using a Form AN. Okay? Ang current fee po is 1,630. That's the fee you pay online or by paper, 1,630. So it's not low, but it's actually not as high as some applications for under the immigration rules. No, for example, spouse applications. It's much more than that when you take into account, especially in IHS, Immigration Health Surcharge. Now, if you're submitting your application online, this is how the website looks. Okay, papakita ko sa inyo, online application. So, sandali nga lang. So, online, so ito po yung form. So, ito yung form na application. Kung magpapasok tayong application, yung application by paper, ito yung form. Yeah? Itong Form AN. Yeah? Application for naturalization as British citizen. So, ang kailangan yung gawin, you can either complete that, you can complete that online and then print it, okay? Or print it and then you can complete it in pen. So, makikita nyo yan, personal information, so, birthday nyo, okay? So, all sorts of details nyo. It's quite a long form. It's not difficult, frankly, itong form na ito, but you need to complete it properly and you need to make sure na kung ano sasabihin nyo doon na tama nga, no? So, it also asks pangalan ng magulang nyo, partner nyo nga dito. So you can see it's in boxes, no? So, make sure you try and write neatly, otherwise hindi nila maiintindihan yung nilagay nyo, and then they may need to come back to you, or indeed there may be some delay. So ito po, kung magpapasok kayong application, by post, itong kailangan yung pakita, no? Now, kung magpapasok yung application online, let me just see if I can find the link to the online application. So, if I can find it. Otherwise, I'll post it later on yung application nga online na kailangan nyo. It's the link. Otherwise, as I say, I'll post it later on and then you can have a look. Because when you make an application nga online, it prompts you yung mga questions nga, no? And it just shows you, it asks you, nasan ba nga kayo, no? And then you start, and you put in your name, ganoon. So it asks for pretty much the same information actually as the AN form, and they have to, no? The paper application and the online application. But as I say, either way, ang bayad nga ay £1,630. Now, so nakita niyo yung form, ha? So AN form, or you're going to apply online. Most people apply online. And you have your fee, also £1,630. Nasan yung passport nyo, alam yung detalye nyo, okay? Ano bang kailangan yung pakita? So let's have a look at the conditions na kailangan you need to satisfy in order to successfully become naturalized as a British citizen, okay? So always, I always say to people nga, okay, ang starting point, ano bang batas? No? It is covered by the British Nationality Act 1981. So kung titingnan nyo yun, you'll find that there are a number of conditions, okay? So there we'll go through the core five conditions nga kailangan yung pakita. So una po, period of lawful residence. So lista muna natin, and then we're going to unpack it a bit, no? So period of lawful residence in the United Kingdom, lawful residence, okay? Possession of permanent immigration status. Okay, yung pangalawa po. Passing the good character test. Okay, passing the life in the UK test. Okay, and English language nga. And taking an oath of allegiance to His Majesty the King at a formal citizenship ceremony. So let's have a look at those. Let's unpack them a little bit. Okay, some can be more problematic than others. Now, tsaka by the way, the Home Office can waive some of those requirements, but they rarely do. Okay? So if you don't satisfy them, then ang payo ko, look to see, okay, if you delay it by a month or if they delay it by 6 months, would you satisfy, for example, the lawful residence, no? So ingat nga kayo. The Home Office can, in some circumstances, waive some of the requirements. So sabihin nila, okay, hindi nga, you don't satisfy it, but yung circumstances nyo, we're going to grant it anyway. Hindi nga lang yung madalas. Okay? So be careful if you don't fully satisfy. So let's unpack the conditions. So una nga, qualifying period of residence in the United Kingdom. Now, I've broken this down into essentially two parts, no? Now, what they look, normally they will look at, say, are you married to a British citizen or are you not married to a British citizen? Okay, so lawful residence in the United Kingdom. If you're married to a British citizen, so ang asawa nyo, Briton sila, okay? Doesn't matter, husband or wife, asawa nyo nga, no? Then you can make an application for naturalization that much sooner. So sabi ng batas, under the British Nationality Act, sabi doon, you can make an application as soon as 3 years. But, so be careful with that. Although sabi nga doon, 3 years, kailangan yung pakita, is actually it's not often correct, the 3 years. Okay? Dahil kung spouse visa ang pagpasok nyo dito, alam nyo naman, kung gano'n ang visa nyo, na kailangan yung pakita 5 taon. So 5 years as a spouse. 2.5 ang bibigay sa inyo una, tapos kailangan yung extension, another 2.5. So, it doesn't matter na kasal nga kayo sa Briton ng 3 years, hindi pa kayo nakakuha ng indefinite permanent residency in the United Kingdom. Okay? So, it's not, it means na kailangan yung pakita not really 3 years, but indeed 5 years. But, again, the upside of that is, sabihin natin, spouse visa nga kayo, pumasok kayo spouse visa. 2.5 years ang binigay sa inyo. Tapos, nakakuha kayong again, 2.5 years. So, 5 taon na kayo. Nakakuha na kayong indefinite, no? The good news is, kung Briton ang asawa nyo nga dito, pwede kayo magpasok ng application immediately after getting indefinite leave to remain. So settled status. No? Hindi nyo kailangan mag-intay ng the usual 12 months after getting indefinite leave to remain to apply for naturalization. So, yung nga, sabihin natin, 2.5 years, nakuha nyo, spouse visa kayo. Another 2.5 years, spouse visa, 5 taon na kayo dito. Nakakuha yung indefinite. The day after you get your indefinite leave to remain, pwede na kayo magpasok ng application for naturalization leading to a British passport. No waiting time required. The reason for that is the law actually says, well, if you're married to someone British, then you need only wait 3 years. Nga, is mahaba nga lang because of the fact that yung spouse visa ang bibigay sa inyo, kailangan yung 5 taon total bago kayo makakakuha yung indefinite. So, kung if you're married to a British citizen, you can make an application nga immediately. Okay? Now, and because of that, because it's 3 years rather than now 5 years, the time of absences you allowed is less. So, kung ang asawa niyo ay Brito nga dito and you're making an application for naturalization nga on that basis, in the last 3 years, kailangan nyo pakita that you've not been absent from the United Kingdom to more than 270 days, ending with the date of the application, or indeed 90 days, ending with in the last 12 months of the application. So 270 days in the last 3 years, and 90 days in the last 12 months. Importante po yun. Otherwise, if you've been absent for longer than that, beyond that, then you need to apply, say to the Home Office, oh, no, I mean, lagpas nga kami, but please exercise your discretion in our favor. I had to do that quite a lot, actually, during the COVID times, no? Less so now because we're further away now from COVID. But certainly, it had quite a lot of impact. Marami akong kliyente, they got stuck. For example, in the home country, sa Pilipinas nga, they got stuck because mainly hindi nga silang pabalik dito basta-basta, and also meron silang inaalagaan sa atin. For example, na nahawa nga, no, na nakakawa na naapektuhan ng COVID and could not come back. Meron nga silang inaalagaan. So, kung ang asawa nyo ay Briton, then you can make an application that much sooner. Lawful residence in the United Kingdom nga, in this case, 3 years, but really it's 5 years ang kailangan yung pakita. So yun. Now, kung wala kayong asawang Briton nga dito, you want to make an application, anong kailangan yung pakita? Again, you need to be able to show lawful residence. So the lawful residence in this case na kailangan yung pakita is 5 years. So you need to be able to show that you've been in the United Kingdom a minimum of 5 years. The last 12 months must be indefinite. Okay? So last 12 months must be indefinite. So permanent residence, settled status, much of the same. So yun, 5 years. So sabihin natin, again, spouse. Okay? Spouse visa na binigay sa inyo, 2.5 years muna. Tapos 2.5 years ulit. Now, hindi kayo na, for whatever reason, you got divorced. Sabihin natin, hindi na kayo kasal doon sa Briton. In that case, you need to wait 12 months after getting indefinite leave to remain to show lawful residence in the United Kingdom nga. So effectively, it's 6 years. So 5 years plus another 12 months. Okay? So yung kailangan yung pakita. Now, alongside that, so yun ang una, lawful residence in the United Kingdom, minimum nga of 5 years. Usually, 5 years nga, last 12 months must be indefinite. Pangalawa po, permanent status in the UK. Now, we touched on that also, no? So, kailangan niyo po yung indefinite leave to remain. So, hindi nga sapat na nakakuha kayo ng spouse visa, no? 2.5 years, tapos 2.5 years ulit. Or frankly, even if you've been in the UK longer than that, kailangan niyo pa rin yung indefinite leave to remain. Kailangan yun. You can't skip that, usually. Okay? So, you need to be able to get nga indefinite leave to remain. And when you apply, will depend kung kasal nga kayo sa Briton o hindi. Kung hindi, you need to wait 12 months. But the permanent immigration nga is a must. Okay? You can't skip that, as I say. Now, pangatlo po, good character. Good character, actually, is probably the one requirement that always gives me a headache. Good character. So, good character now, they have expanded. Okay? So, starting point is, lahat sa mga kliyente ko, unang tanong ko nga sa kanila, have you been convicted of any offenses? No? At any time, dito o sa bansa nyo. So, kung galing kayo sa Pilipinas, galing in the Philippines. And you should, of course, make full and frank disclosure. Malaman nila, kung magsinungaling nga kayo, pagka nalaman nila, malalaman nila, no? Then, it's possible that then you may never be granted nga a citizenship because you lied nga on your application. So, again, full and frank disclosure is a must. No? So sabihin natin nga you had some issues when you were young, no? We all make mistakes, especially even now. Oh, we all make mistakes nga, but certainly when you're young, you may have maybe certain things na you did before na hindi mo nang gagawin ngayon when you're a bit older, and some they say wiser but not necessarily, no? So sabihin natin nga you had issues. Now, it doesn't mean, even if it's a criminal issue, it doesn't mean na hindi na kayo bibigyan ng citizenship, as long as, of course, you can explain it. Now, the more serious the criminal conduct is, of course, the less likely they're going to grant you, they're going to exempt you from this requirement. So, importante nga, kung may problema, explain nyo. Especially nga kung bata pa kayo nung nangyari yun, o sa ibang bansa nga, iba ng sitwasyon nyo nga ngayon. So, explain it. No? Make sure you say, nagbago na nga kayo ngayon. There's been 5 years has passed or 10 years has passed since that had happened nga. I-explain nyo. Now, hindi nga lang po criminality titignan nga nila. And also, it doesn't have to be serious, but you need to disclose it. But they can also look at other things, no? And of course, they will look at the obvious, no? Any kind of terrorism issues, which of course is criminality nga. But they will also look at finances, no? So sabihin natin, marami kang utang or you became bankrupt, okay? So be careful again there because they will look at financial soundness, yung sabi nga nila. So kung may problema yun, again, declare it and explain it, no? If you were made bankrupt, sabihin natin 5 years ago, and the order's now been discharged, ano bang nangyari? No? Did you try and settle nga the debts that you owed? Ano bang nangyari nga? Anong dahilan? Why did it happen? I mean, as I say, things happen in life. Sometimes it's out of our control, or mainly out of our control. I mean, alam nyo naman, no? in the last 12 months, no? Or 18 months nga, interest rates have gone sky high, no? And sometimes it runs away from you, no? You're trying your best, hindi naman wala kayong magagawa because it's just cost of living and all of that. So kung nangyari nga yun, I can explain it. Okay? So sabihin nyo nga, nangyari to, you were made bankrupt, or you're in the midst of bankruptcy proceedings, or voluntary bankruptcy nga, no? So it is something you can explain, and do explain it, no? So all that can be packaged in this good character requirement. So I always say to my clients, if something has happened and you think that it may be relevant, no? It may go against your character. Ang payo ko, explain it, no? Disclose it and explain it. Because it's better to do it that way. So alam nila, okay, you're honest, you're owning up, you're responsible nga. And that's that's one of the things that they want to see, that you have good character. And good character does not mean perfect. No, no one is perfect. And sometimes nga, as I've said, things run away from you. No, you try your best, hindi nga nangyari. And sometimes you just make mistakes. It happens. Explain it. Okay? And you'll probably find that it's they can be, I wouldn't say forgiving, but they would be more forgiving kung explain nyo rather than keeping it. Okay, so yun. Now, the other things that they will look at, and more of a kind of administrative issue, is your knowledge of life in the United Kingdom, and that includes, of course, English language. So it's really in two parts. So una po, life in the UK, and as I've said, English language. English language, usually, pagka kumuha kayong indefinite leave to remain, you've done it already. The life in the UK and the English language. Ibig sabihin, pagka nagpasok ng naturalization, then you use the same thing. Okay? Usually, it's perfectly valid. So most of my clients, pagka nakakuha sa indefinite, maghintay sila ng isang taon, and then they make an application for naturalization. That way they can make use of the B1 test, for example, the English language, and the Life in the UK test. Anyway, that's not yun, wala yung expiry date. Now, alam kong mahirap yung Life in the UK, especially. The English language, it's still challenging, but not as challenging as the Life in the UK. Ang payo ko po, pag-aralan nyo. I'm sure it'll be fine. Sabihin natin hindi kayo nakapasa, don't worry about it. No? Take it again. There's no time limit. No? So you can take it as often as you need to until you pass. Yeah? Now, the fee for the Life in the UK test is, I think, £50, the Life in the UK test. The English language is a little bit more expensive. That is £300, give or take. You know? So it's not cheap. Okay, if you need to keep taking it out. But the good news is, as I say, it's the English language, which is the more expensive one. Most people pass that nga. It's not as difficult, nowhere near as difficult as the Life in the UK. The Life in the UK, my tip nga is go on YouTube. Okay, meron silang mga mock test ang tawag nila, and practice. Nothing beats practice. And you can also, I think there's even an app, no, that you can get. Otherwise, bilhin yung libro. You can get you get the big book, no, which is the main book nga. You can also get revision books. You know, if you're like me, you prefer the paper rather than seeing it on your phone, or indeed on your laptop nga. So it's something practice. Nothing beats practice. There are 24 questions. For the Life in the UK test, you need to get 75% right, which is 18 questions out of the 24. And it's not easy, okay? It's really not easy. So, pag-aralan nyo, ang problema nga lang, most of my clients, and I say this to them, no, kung wala kayong kailangan gawin, kung hindi nyo kailangan magtrabaho, o hindi nyo kailangan magtrabaho as long as you have to work, no, papasak nga kayo. Problema nga lang, it's quite difficult to hive off the time, no? Dahil pagka may trabaho nga tayo, get home, bahay nga, kain kayo, tulog, no? Maybe a little bit of relaxation, watching TV, but otherwise, tulog, and then starts over again. No? And when do you fit in the studies? So importante nga na you have to just make the time, unfortunately. Okay, and I've said to clients, look, kung meron kayong entitlement to holiday, I would say do that before you do your test. It's not an easy test, the Life in the UK, pero kailangan nyo nga yun. There's no choice, no? So sabihin natin, you can prove lawful residence, because you've been in the United Kingdom, 5 years leave to remain in the UK. You have permanent immigration status in the UK, so settled status na nga kayo, or indefinite leave to remain, much of the same. Good character nga, walang problema. No, you've not been subject to criminal prosecution or criminal conviction nga, or you've not been made bankrupt, o ganun nga, no? Or if you have, you can explain it. You've done your Life in the UK test, no? Either because you did it for the indefinite leave to remain, in indeed the English language nga, pasan na nga kayo. The last condition is you're taking your oath of allegiance now to the King, because sadly our Queen Elizabeth has since passed away, so King Charles, of course, no? So you give your oath of allegiance to the King, no? It's a formal citizenship ceremony, and I'm told I've only been to one citizenship ceremony. And people never invite me to citizenship ceremony, and I so enjoyed it. Ang saya, no? So it's you book it, no? Pagka natapos na yung application nyo, susulat ang home office niyo. Sasabihin nila, your application was successful. The next thing then is sasabihin nila, you need to book then your oath-taking, ang tawag ko, no? Oath-taking nga. And you normally book that in yung sa borough nyo, no? And so the borough will then give you a date. So usually, I mean, you can book private oath-taking nga, but I find it's at least the one that I attended, no, that was everyone was, well, a lot of people were there nga. It was great fun. So pwede niyo imbitahin yung mga kaibigan nyo. Ngayon, I think a lot of boroughs, they limited to 2 guests. Dahil I think in the past, too many people came. But it was great fun, no? There's a little bit of singing, people are dressed up, and some boroughs even lay out a little bit of, a few drinks, no? So it's you do your oath of allegiance. And once you've done your oath of allegiance, bibigay sa inyo on the same day nga your certificate. Makikita nyo doon yung certificate of naturalization. Andun pangalan nyo. Pagka nakuha nyo yun, checkin nyo, tama nga. Kasi it happens, also mistakes can happen, typo. So, ingat nga kayo. Checkin nyo. Kung may mali, you can apply for it to be amended. But you need to do that before you apply for your British passport. So, sabihin natin, you made the application was successful, you've done your oath of allegiance, what's next? British passport. Okay, that's a different process, and they are a little bit slow at the moment with the with especially new British passports. Kailangan yung padala nga yung certificate nyo. Usually you need to also send yung passport nyo nga. Kung Filipino passport holder kayo, kailangan padala nga yun. And then babalik naman nila, no? But of course, then they will issue you in due course your British passport, no? Because it's your first passport, they may want to interview you, which is normally done now online, okay? But again, there's a bit of delay because it's your first passport. On your second passport, you don't need to be interviewed anymore because that's your second passport nga, and that also can be you can make an application nga online. So pagka may British passport na nga kayo, well, actually when you get your certificate at that point, kaya wala pa kayong British, you're already British. Okay? So if you nga lang to be able to use it, to be able to show, not use it, to be able to show people that you are British, you need to be able to prove it by way of passport usually. So yun. Especially kung gagawin nyo nga, so magbibiyahe kayo sa US, no? O sa Pilipinas, no? In order to show that you're British, you need your passport. So yun. So if you are entitled, a lot of people ask me, should they even bother? I think it's worthwhile applying for naturalization. And maganda nga, the Philippines also now recognize dual citizenship, and certainly the UK do anyway. And so ibig sabihin you'll be dual. You won't be just British nga. You won't lose, your Filipino, your citizenship nga. You will be both. And there's no double taxation nga. So I'm sure there are probably downsides to becoming dual, but I can't think of one nga at the moment. And usually that any downside is trumped by the upside. Then of course, ibig sabihin, you can stay here or you can stay in the Philippines kung Filipino nga kayo. Be careful nga lang if you have more than dual citizenship. Some countries may not like it or may resort to losing one citizenship. So ingat nga kayo. So for example, Germany, I know have very strict requirements about dual or triple nationality. US also, I think after triple nationality. So ingat nga lang kayo. Check with your respective embassy nga na hindi nga mako-compromise yung status nyo. Now, so it's I hope that was of help to you. I mean, it's certainly it's a big topic, no? So sorry, tagal lang nga tayo because it's a massive topic, naturalization, and it's getting bigger. That's why we have to hive it off in 2 parts. So naturalization nga ngayon, which is to do with adult applications. And so next week nga, pag-uusapan natin is mainly registration. So or sometimes nga, you don't even need to register, mga bata, no? Now, so I hope that was of help, and I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed it. Next segment po natin is yung batian, ano? So my favorite